Time to hook up, mathletes. This is your math coach, and today we will solve one-step multiplication and division equations. Okay, now in order to solve multiplication and division equations, we have to understand what the word inverse means. Now, the definition of inverse is something that is the opposite or reverse of something else. Let's give you an example. Here I have a picture of the mohawk. Again, a very good looking hairstyle. Now the inverse of the mohawk would be the inverse mohawk. Again, definitely not as good looking as the mohawk. So the inverse, though, as you can see here, is the reverse of something else. Let's talk about what that looks like for math. As we look at the inverse for math, and again, we're solving multiplication and division equations, the inverse of multiply is divide. And the inverse of divide is multiply. So as we look to solve these equations, we're going to use what's called the inverse operation to do that. Let's take a look at our first one. If I need to solve for g, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the inverse operation. Before I do that, though, what we've had you do is we've had you draw a line through the equal sign. The reason why we do that is because this equal sign is very important. It means that this side right now is equal to this side. As we start to solve that and use the inverse operation, it's important that whatever I do on this side, I must do on this side as well to keep the two things balanced. So let's go ahead. When I have a number and a variable side by side, remember this means multiply. Now the inverse of multiply then is divide. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide both sides by this -4, since that's what I'm multiplying the variable by. Whatever I do on this side, we need to stay balanced, I'm going to do on this side. Now when I work this out, these -4's cancel because multiplying and then dividing by a number just really leaves us the number that we started with. So on this side I have g. On this side I've got -24 divided by -4. And remember, a negative divided by a negative, that's the same sign. So my answer is 6. Quick just mental check. Let's go ahead. Is -4 times 6 -24? And the answer is yes. So I feel good about this answer. Let's look at the second one. The second one says c over 3 is equal to 6. Now, this over 3, which operation is that? That's right, it's division. So let's go ahead and we'll draw our line through the equal sign, and then I'm going to use the inverse operation of dividing by 3, which is multiply by 3. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 3. When I do that on this side, my 3's cancel each other, so I'm left with c. On this side I have 6 times 3, and 6 times 3 is 18. Quick, let's do a mental check. If I put 18 back in here in the original problem, 18 divided by 3 does give me this answer of 6, so I feel good about both of these answers. Well, hopefully this session was good for you. This is your math coach. Remember, mathletes, keep practicing and build your math muscle.